Long, long ago, well, 30 years ago actually, many people began getting their learning from computers. There grew to be lots of places to learn and lots more courses. The big problem back then was course providers couldn't share courses. All the courses were made differently. They did not communicate. Then some folks had the brilliant idea that there should be a standard for online learning, and they invented SCORM. What is SCORM, and can it be demystified? Before we talk about SCORM, let's think for a moment about communication. When we communicate, we begin with many assumptions without ever realizing it. Let's say you're a teacher in a classroom. One of the most important parts of your job is to communicate, right? But what if your students didn't speak English and you didn't speak their language? And what if you scowled when you were happy, grinned when you were furious? Nobody would understand you. To get along well and to understand each other, we must share basic assumptions about how to communicate. And that's kind of like what SCORM is, a basic set of assumptions that allow courses and learning management systems, or LMSs, to communicate. We'll talk more about LMSs in a future tutorial. So let's get back to our original question. What's SCORM? SCORM is the best and most popular standard for building online content. If you want to build or buy an online course to share with your learners, it's got to be a SCORM course. Here's why. We can understand SCORM better by thinking about the word. The word SCORM is an acronym like IBM or NASA. It stands for Shareable Content Object Reference Model. That's a mouthful, but it's not so bad when we look more closely at the words. We can break them down into three ideas: shareable content, object, reference model. When a course is shareable, you have a lot more freedom on how you can use it in your organization. You can take it from one system to another without changing it. And if you want to share it with others, they can use it on their system too. Lessons in a SCORM course are called objects. It's like a section in a textbook or an item on a syllabus. Your course can have any number of lessons. You can set rules for those lessons. For example, you can make sure learners have to understand one lesson before going on to the next. The folks who invented SCORM didn't start from scratch. They borrowed a lot of ideas from older standards, like the one developed by the air travel industry called AICC. Like I said, SCORM borrows from old models, but is a great improvement. To sum up, a SCORM course is a collection of lessons packaged with instructions that are understood by online learning management systems, or LMSs. I mentioned teachers earlier, and that's a good illustration, because a SCORM course is like a good teacher. They both have a lesson plan and can adapt it to the progress of their learners. They both know who you are and call you by name. They both track your progress. They record when you're studying and when you leave, and report your course status. If you pass with a score of 90%, fail, or never even finish, both the teacher and the SCORM course will record this. Finally, both you and the teacher could be at any school, and you'd work together the same way. Similarly, a SCORM course should work for you on most learning platforms. We hope you have a better idea of what you should expect when you hear about SCORM courses. For more information about how custom SCORM course content can help your organization, contact us at info@kmionline.com. And be sure to look for more short tutorials from KMI.